If you've been looking into lead generation recently and you've been asking yourself, man, I'm wondering what is the best lead generation software out there, you're in the right place, because after generating over 950 qualified leads just in the last 2 months with the average cost per lead under $1, I've come up with a list of the 5 best lead generation softwares out there. These will guarantee you to find a lot of qualified leads this year, with the first tool being the one that I use absolutely the most, which allows me to scrape unlimited leads directly from Google. It solves the big pain and problem that finding leads is extremely expensive, for example using platforms like Apollo, LinkedIn Sales Navigator or ZoomInfo, because these tools charge a premium just to access basic lead data, and especially if you want to do outbound at scale, the cost adds up very quickly. The tool I'm using to scrape leads completely for free is called Easy Scraper. It's a free Chrome extension that you can use completely for free, and just go to Easy Scraper on the Chrome Web Store and download it for free. And to show you how it works, I'm going to use a quick example. So let's say I want to target finance managers from the UK that work in the retail sector. So we're going on the Google search and we're going to look for site linkedin.com/in, which means we want results only from LinkedIn, and the /in means that we only want profiles and not posts or anything else. And this means the finance manager is the job title that we're looking for, and we're going to put this in quotation marks, which means that we want the exact match. So we only want finance managers, we do not want senior finance managers or anything alike, and we're looking for these people in retail. So this AND operator means this is an extra keyword that we're looking for, and these people should work exactly in retail. Let's see what Google is going to put out. We can see here now we have finance managers working in retail companies. However, they are from countries, for example, like Spain. We also have here United States, but we only want them to be from the United Kingdom. What we can do now is we can click here on tools, and then we can click on advanced search, and we can click here on any region, and here we're going to select United Kingdom because we only want search results from the United Kingdom. And as you can see now, they are only from UK. We have United Kingdom, Manchester, we have United Kingdom, Maidenhead, and this is exactly what we're looking for. The next step to scrape these leads now, we're going to click on the puzzle piece. We're going to click here on Easy Scraper, and the only thing that we will have to do now is show the scraper how we can navigate to the next page. So we're going to click here on select, click here on next, and now everything is set up. And as you can see already in the preview, we have the LinkedIn URL, we have the first name, the last name, we have the amount of followers, which could also be interesting. We have the location, the job title, and what we will do now is click here on start the scraping. In this case, we're just going to scrape 50 leads, but you can scrape as many leads as you want. It's unlimited leads for you. And the thing that we're going to do now is we're going to export them to a CSV file. So we click here on CSV. To check the list, we can go here to Google Sheets. You can also go to an Excel. We're going to click here on import, and then we will select the file that we just got from the scraper. And what we'll be able to see is that we will have the lead list. We have 50 leads. We have the LinkedIn URL, the first name, last name, and all of this. But as you can see, it's not properly cleaned. For example, the first name and the last name are not in separate columns. So this is something we're going to do with the next tool. While the lead scrape from Google are very accurate, there are still things we need to do. For example, cleaning the list and also adding extra enrichments. For example, company level enrichments that help us further qualify and also personalize our outbound. For that, I've been using GPT4 Sheets, which allows us to directly integrate ChatGPT into our Google Sheet and then clean and also further enrich our lead list. After you've downloaded it, go back to your Google Sheet. We can click on extension, and what we'll be able to see is here the GPT4 Sheets and Docs, and then we're going to open. And what we will see now is that we can input different formulas to further enhance our lead list. The extension has a free trial, and after this one is over, you can buy additional credits, which are actually quite cheap. So here we have 97 million tokens for $29. And to put that into perspective, you can use around 150 to 200,000 smart prompts with 97 million tokens. So let's say you want to qualify and further enrich 2,000 leads every day. This pack would last you for around 8 months. If you want to have it even cheaper, I recommend you to custom code and then get an API key directly from OpenAI or Gemini, and this will allow you to save on further costs. With the first prompt, you want to extract the first name. So we're going to create a new column here, name it first name, and we're going to type in GPT equal to extract the first name from column C2. We have the first name and the last name here. So this is what the GPT is going to do. And now we can see that based on this, we have the first name from this lead, which is Tom. And we're going to do the same for the second name. So basically the last name. We can then drag and drop this down. Here we can see this is very easy. And now all of these are loading. And then we have the first name and the last name in a cleaned way in a separate column. Another interesting prompt is to see what the company actually does. So we're going to type in company info, and then we're going to write GPT, and then we ask ChatGPT to summarize what the following company actually does. We can again drag and drop that down, so we have a lot of information about these companies and do not manually need to research it. Another very interesting prompt is asking for an icebreaker. So this will allow us to basically use that for cold emailing at scale. So we're going to use GPT, and then we ask to write a short and humorous cold email icebreaker that shows awareness and all of that. And then we will actually have a very nice cold email opener that we can use to do cold emailing at scale. You can do a lot of additional things like looking for competitors, looking for recent funding news whatsoever. And this will allow you to nail down your list even further and also personalize your outreach. The next tool we're going to look at actually solved my problem of finding a lot and actually valid emails and mobile phone numbers. What I used to do was buying a lot of different subscriptions and then putting my lead list into tool 1 and then verifying it with a verifier, putting it into the next tool, which was very costly because I need to pay a lot of subscriptions and it also cost me a lot of time. The tool is called Better Contact, and it basically aggregates every relevant email and mobile phone number on the market, then verifies it and only charges if the data is actually valid. We can create an account completely for free. So as you can see here, we don't need no credit card. We also have 50 free credits, so we can create an account with Google or sign up with an email. With the tool, we can either look for a work email, a phone number, or both, and we can do a single search, or we can also upload CSV or Excel files in the file enrichment section. For example, we can now go back to our Google Sheet. We can then click here on download as a CSV, and then we can go back to our Better Contact account and then upload it directly. We can now choose if we want to enrich the email address or the mobile phone number or both. And then after we've decided on that, we can check on the first name, the last name, and the LinkedIn profile URL and the other ones to see if this has been mapped correctly. And if not, we can quickly do it and then click on Start Enrichment Now. So after our file has been enriched and all of these data providers have been requested and the data has been verified, we can check out the data. We can see that a lot of mobile phone numbers have been found. And also on the email side, when there is a green check mark, it means that the email has been validated. So 1 credit has been charged. And if it has not been validated, so the data from the provider is actually invalid, there's no charge at all. We can also see this under the C workflow. So 4 providers, or in this case, 3 providers have been requested, and an email finder found an email, but it has been validated as invalid. And so 0 credits have been charged. What we can do now is export these enriched leads either as a CSV or an Excel file, or we can directly push it to the tools that we're using, for example, HubSpot, SmartLead, Instantly, whatsoever. The next tool has been super helpful on closing high-value B2B leads, because if you want to close high-value contracts, you also need to build relationships with the leads. What worked extremely well for me for high-value B2B leads is actually tracking them on social media, so seeing what they comment on or if they do post themselves. This really helps to stay top on mind, but it's a big challenge to actually keep track of these leads and then also see what they're actually doing on time. This is what I'm using Breakhold for. So Breakhold is not a typical sales CRM because it's based on LinkedIn and multiple other platforms such as email and Instagram. As you can see on the homepage, it combines email, calling, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and Telegram inside one CRM. You can create an account completely for free, so you can just click on try Breakhold for free, and I will quickly show you the features that Breakhold has to offer. What I'm using a lot is the pipeline feature, so you can create different pipelines. It allows you to create different lists of different prospects, and what we can see here, this is one pipeline that I'm currently actively using, and this has different stages, and we can move prospects from these stages into the next one, and this will allow me to keep track of these leads and then also ultimately close them at the end. Another super useful feature is the feed. So this allows us to keep track on what our leads are actually doing, so if they have been commenting on a post or if they've been posting a post. So we can click on all posts and we can click on like. We can also comment directly from Breakhold and everything in one, which is super much a time changer and also helps me to stay on top of mind of the leads. Using Breakhold helped me to stay on top of the mind of my leads, and they often gave me the good feedback that I seemed more of a trustable person because I always popped up in their feed, which also helped them make the decision to work with me in the end. This also allowed me to be less intrusive because I didn't need to send follow-up after follow-up through cold email or cold calling, which is often quite annoying for the prospects. The fifth tool was a huge game changer in tackling my cold email deliverability problems. Especially when I first started out, I had huge problems in landing in the primary inbox, despite sending personalized email or doing everything that the people told me to do. After talking to more and more experts, I learned that the biggest problem and the biggest bottleneck is actually setting up the correct domains and also the right inboxes. Because a lot of things can go wrong at this stage. For example, buying from low quality inbox resellers, or also not properly setting up the technical things that you need to do for cold emailing, including DMARC and DKIM. And then through a friend, I learned about a tool called Zapmail. So this is a tool which allowed me to buy domains and then at the same time set up inboxes, and everything including DMARC, DKIM, and all of the other technical things are set up automatically. automatically for me. So looking at Zapmail's pricing page, we can see that we get around 10 Google mailboxes for already $39 a month, and we can buy domains for around $12 for a .com domain. And especially when starting out, it's quite confusing to know how many domains and inboxes you need for the amount of emails you want to send. So let's say we want to send out 10,000 emails with 2 touches over 14 weeks. So this means that we need around 4 domains and 10 mailboxes. So I would recommend in this case to go for 5 domains to be even more sure that the emails land in the primary inbox. When you create an account, you will see it's super easy to set up. So just go to domains, and then you can see if the domain that you want to buy is still available. So we can, for example, look for coldemail.com, which is probably not available. But the good thing is that we will get an alternative to it, and we can directly buy it with one click. So we can basically look here and we can see, for example, coldmailcenter.com is available, and then we can buy it with one click for only $13, and it will be ours for a year. After the domain is being bought, we can set up our mailboxes, which is also very easy, and we just need to put the name of the email that we want to have, and then all of the technical setup is configured for us. And after that, what we can do, which is also quite handy, we can push these tools directly to our outreach tool, for example, Smart Lead, Instantly, or Reach Inbox. So they will directly be pushed to this tool. Now, there's one more lead gen tool that I didn't include in this video, which is an AI cold calling agent. This is an insanely powerful lead generation tool that you can use right now, but I figured it would need a own dedicated video. So click here to go to the next video where I'll be showing you in under 15 minutes how to build an AI cold calling agent completely from scratch. This way you can easily replicate the agent, which does dials all day, every day for you and doesn't need to eat or sleep. This is an absolute game changer for lead gen, and especially if you're a small business owner and know that cold calling is beneficial for your business, but you do not want to spend all day on the phones, I will see you over there.